So I don't know what Future Jordan's gonna do, but it doesn't seem like I'm gonna be cutting this into the other video. If nothing else, it's a fun little after video, because I decided to record this right after. There are timestamps in case you want to skip forward to a certain step, although we are starting off basically where I usually end up failing, or I were failing in the past. If you noticed, I just uncapped the Special Week SSR, and yeah, we have a Super Creek that has also been uncapped, and you know what? That makes a bit of a difference. It's not the biggest difference, but because I think when you uncap to level 35, for at least for the Special Week event SSR, then you get 2 to 4% increases here and there, but then you get a speed increase as well. What that means is, so I can check this really quickly because there's nothing much happening on screen, but not that. So, speed bonus 1, this is what you get when you get to level 35. Increased speed gain when training together. This is before any modifiers, so even though, it's just an extra 1 speed. No, that's on top of, that's beneath modifiers, I believe? I'm going crazy? And as you can see, my Guts is still pretty low. Guts does have an effect. Now, like, half of the time at least, I am memeing on Guts, but Guts does have an effect just right now, I think. I think it's minimum speed, if I recall. But either way, like, what I'm going to put in my quote-unquote tips video, that's what I'm calling it right now, that's hence the quote-unquote, as we're in 10th place right now. But what I'm going to put is... Now I forgot what I was going to say. Gosh me, what am I doing this? Also note that I'm still using the default Daiwa Scarlet. Again, this is for the Pace Chaser aptitude upgrade. I also now have Swinging Maestro, so that makes me feel a lot better. But Assembly Rudolph is also here for her unique skill, which, again, if it's not the own... Basically, inheriting a unique skill, it's not going to be the strongest, because the unique skill of the own Musume that uses it, or owns it, or both, can be upgraded through their career scenario. So I'm only using a level 1 Symbol unique, but it'll provide a boost. So I'm shrugging in real life. And as you'll see in people doing PvP, if global is going to be the same as Japan server at the same exact point in which it came out, then you'll see that people end up usually inheriting the unique skills of another legacy Musume anyway, as we pop over to second and first place. So, shrug! But yeah, as we sit here, I really forgot what I was going to say. There was something about Guts and whatnot. But, again, it's still, and yeah, Behold Thine Emperor's Divine Might, that's Assembly Rudolph's unique, helps provide a bit of an acceleration being more important in the last spurt, as I've tested out here and there. I failed basically 2 to 3 gold chips before this current run, which I might fail again, but at least we have a higher chance of getting farther as we actually win this. So as I get drop-kicked here, maybe we have an easier time. Again, the 2 uncaps can help. I think this person uncapped their Super Creek in between when I recorded the previous gold chip video and this recording, so that's pretty funny. But that's what I meant earlier when I talked about using your energy items, because the more you use, the faster you can uncap at least the free-to-play stuff here, as you are getting club points for the other free-to-play SSRs, as you are getting other stuff. Also, we're using less power now. That's something I'm trying to find, because if you're doing a lot of speed training, you're going to be getting enough power for the, well, at least for my strategy, the Pace Chaser style. But that's how I'm doing it. This is what works for me specifically. For anyone else, it depends on your specific support cards, what your strategy is, how your events play out, because you can get random events. Also, I want to take the speed, but I think we need a bit. No, do we need it now? I'm going crazy. No, actually, we're not at the point in which I failed yet, but we will be soon. And I instead want to do recreation here, because we need to assume that we're going to survive. Now, getting a Hatsu... I'm not even going to try to pronounce, I forgot. To skip to the future, you never catch me! Is this the rare one? No, it's not. But the wits are still much appreciated. Think of something quickly for speed and guts. But yeah, I think one of the most important oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'll mention it in the tips video as well. That's what I was gonna say as well. But if someone shows me, hey, I put 300 more guts than this build you're using, or when I was doing this or before, and it worked out, and I'm not gonna deny you that. I'm just saying that guts does not have as much of an effect as it will be in whenever more Guts mechanics comes out, essentially. Because if you go to a certain... There's a reason... Okay, well, let's say it, because certain trainers... certain English-speaking trainers in their videos mention it. If you go to Game Tora, you'll see some mechanics, but not everything you see there may have been implemented in global server yet. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. Nice late start, by the way. We'll skip to the end here. But, yeah, as it turns out, Pace Chaser helps out to have more speed, which is to be expected. Again, front runner wants the most speed to stay ahead, therefore they don't need as much power to try and pass Musume that are in front, because little to no girl should be in front, as I'm getting caught up here, because if I had popped unique skill, we'd be further out front, but it's fine, we get first place. Kick! But, yeah, Guts has more effects later on. Right now, I'm not saying it's completely worthless, but you will hear trainers, a lot of veteran trainers, or some veteran trainers, at least, tell you that Guts does not provide as much of an effect, and it's something that can be ignored. It's definitely on the lower end of the priority list, that I will agree with, but... it will, if you can grab it, it's nice. That's why I said that. I'm kind of flip-flopping because I'm testing things out and then trying to refer to my own runs. Shrug, that's the most I can say. So, moving on here. I don't think there's much else more. Again, I don't want to try to take power training if possible, because all of my power should come from speed, essentially. Although there's not much here either, so I guess we do... Oh my goodness, there's really no one else around. We can do Guts here, I just don't want to use the energy, but if we have to... We still get 15 in the other stats. I'm looking at numbers. You shouldn't. You should look at what you actually need, but... Here in Tenno Sho... Oh, give me the... didn't get curry. Curry is what you want. I don't know if there's anything above curry. There's carrot, there's a batch of carrots, which is more energy, but then there's the curry, which grants you mood and stat increases, most importantly, but then you have to get lucky, so that's a thing. Also, I'm using different, I've changed my setup just a little bit, so hopefully I don't sound too weird. That shouldn't affect my setup. Also, we actually do want stamina, but while we're here, we're just going to take wits. I do have so the only other thing to note is that if you're deciding to follow the training that I'm doing, essentially, or the most essential part being you have a SSR Super Creek, whether it's 30 or 35, because this is actually important. So, because Super Creek doesn't start with, I think, friendship anywhere near, and you're not likely to find someone unless you're whaling or you have the resources, or you have a friend that just happens to have a big uncapped, you won't have initial friendship, because this requires 3 to 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 uncaps, so that means Super Creek starts at 0 friendship, and what I'm trying to get at is that you have to follow Super Creek if you want the amount of stamina that I'm getting here, unless you just have a bunch of other ways to get stamina, which is possible. Again, don't let it be said that there aren't other ways to supplement what you may or may not have for the type of build you're making. Again, my gold ship is Pace Chaser here, could be End, but I don't have as many, as you can see, power. And in fact, you have the free SSR event speed, so hey, also rip my mood, but we're just gonna have to go with it. Watch me do Recreation and then get a mood increase event. Again, the events that, well, the events aren't completely random, but they're all what happens from the batch of events you have, mainly from your chosen support cards, does get rolled in what you have. Again, on top of random cards that could be anywhere from rare to SSR, just randomly. But you can't get friendship with support cards that you don't have. Oh, gold ship stuff. So this is something unique to gold ship, and maybe other Uma Musume, but she likes to lock out other training, so yeah. It's not the worst thing. We'll take the speed here. Again, knowing these events, the outcome of these events are not usually random. But if you run into a certain doctor, if you are doing a raffle in the streets, there are some random things that can happen, or the effects can be random. Also, now we have an S grade in medium aptitude, which comes from, I think, Simply Rudolph here. Yeah, so that's nice. But boy. Also, I'm leveling up Warning Shot as well. I forgot what the exact requirements for that are, but I guess I'll look later. I would like 400 stamina, but I'm scared here, so I am and I have just to review for no one else than myself. I have, yeah, Swinging Maestro. It's not the, I think it's like around 5% of your stamina you recover, but I'm just gonna take speed to be safe. That might end up hurting me in the long run, but hey. Otherwise, we can take, I think we got Hydrate. And since we are Pace Chaser, it's not gonna be the most, but if I need that extra oomph, which is actually what I need right now, then it'll be nice. Also, yeah, this is a long race as well, specifically 3,200 meters, so I need to make sure my stamina's okay, which maybe I should not have taken that speed, but we're going to find out in a hot moment if that was a good choice. This is the race that I think I've been failing in most of my gold ship runs. Some of them I fail faster, but that's because I try something different, like if I want to stack in more speed, which doesn't work out as well, or if I try to do different summer rotations, which happens to be speed as well. Speed is king, but for gold ship here, you have a lot of medium-long races, so what happens is you need stamina. Thankfully, we're in first. I should have actually looked at the whole race, but there's not really much. I'm usually just looking for late start. Sometimes you can look for unique skill procs from not just your own Musume, but others, and then also looking to get rushed, and yeah. So this is the reason why I use Sibilee's unique here, because if you didn't notice, they would have caught up. I think they accelerate faster than I would have. In fact, I might still get past here, but we'll find out. So yeah, without that, I would not have been able to hit top speed earlier as we get kicked again, and we probably would have been passed, and we wouldn't. Usually at the last 200 or the last final straight, while you're in the last spurt, anyone who passes is probably just going to end up passing because everyone has hit the speed that they're going to hit when they cross the finish line, is what I'm trying to say. As they may be continuing to speed up, basically. Basically, no one's going to speed up, stop speeding up, and then speed up again. So if you get passed, you're getting passed. But anywho, this would be nice. I'm not gonna gamble this time. Would be nice, I'm not gonna gamble. This, on the other hand, yeah, if you get it again, I mean, I'll take it. We should be set for the entire run. Might need a little bit more. Might need 500 if we're in URA long races, but this is where I experiment now because I don't recall where I'm at with this specific thing. Again, I recall most of, if not all of Gold Ship's where you want to be at stat-wise, but whether I can hit that and how I want to rotate my training during training, I'm not stuck in it yet here, as I am with these support cards, with these events, so on and so forth. Which is important. That's why when you look at someone else's training, you look at their support cards, look at their legacies, and exactly what they're getting from their inspiration, and then look at the aptitudes of their Musume, which should be self-apparent. I don't usually need to say this. I don't assume that someone gets that wrong, but I mean, don't leave anything to chance, right? So, we'll stick here. We should win this. We look pretty good to win. It's never guaranteed, though, at least at this stat range, because RNG can happen. So, yeah, we'll let this race play out. Don't know if I'm going to let others play out. If it's a long race, I'll let it play out, because then I can look at where stamina goes, which, as it turns out, basically, if you want to spearhead anything new that might happen in Musume, you need to be able to look at a race and decide what's happening. For example, here, I at least know that Gold Ship has not run out of stamina, although that's to be expected because I have enough stamina. Even if I didn't know the exact numbers, I can gauge where exactly I run out of stamina here and how much more I might need if we are to go. And then even just right now, if we go into the same race, because a lot of races are shared when you go into the regular team PvP mode, you can gauge whether or not you have enough stamina, because if you just run out of stamina while you're doing the scenario mode for URA Finals, then you can say, okay, well, I'll need a lot more stamina if I want to do the same track race in the PvP mode. Something like that. Things of this nature. Other things like, hey, do I want the guts that helps me in the last spurt, which is where it kicks in the most? does for minimum speed. Do I want more power because I want to switch the girl to the back? Usually that should be decided before you finish, or as you're setting up what you want to do as we pass the first tier. We should, if Goldship does, she should be using Symboli's skill. It should happen. It's a bit late now. You can still use it. It'll help, but yeah. So, excuse me. We don't need the stamina. We need speed right now. So, but again, I expected this because this is a medium race. We don't need as much stamina. But in a long race, I can see Goldship being still at like third, having to speed up at the last spurt of the race, or the last 200 meters. I usually say 200 meters. That's not the exact thing. It depends on the exact race length. But at least we can get past this. I think we have 2 more goals to go, question mark? Yeah. Tenno Sho, Autumn, and then Arima Kinen, which I think one's medium and one's long? I don't remember. I said I was supposed to remember, I didn't remember. Unfortunately, the other thing I have to look at here... Let's actually look at our races first. So yeah, medium, 2,000 meters. Long, 2,500 meters. So, we should have enough stamina. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, which URAs I'm going to get... Might get long? I really hope I don't get long. However, I just messed up because that's right. The race happens before the summer. So if you want to rest before the race, if you want to have enough stamina to not do what I'm doing here, which is basically 3 studies and a speed. If I want to be risky, I could do 2 speed here, but I don't feel as lucky. So we're just going to do the speed one now and then probably do a wits training afterward. But I definitely need more. Yeah, I am not going to gamble that. Could rest here, but I'd rather take the wits and then rest after the summer. Again, if nothing else, yeah, in the summer, you really want to make sure you have enough energy. But I see rainbow training. I'm just going to ignore it because we want to rest. You could, though. A lot of trainers, and for good reason, still continue training at around the low green part of the energy bar, or under half. Just know that when you do that, you probably have a chance of failure at all for anything but wits training. Also, I want to do some speed training, so I just took the wits there. But Falco, hopefully we get rainbow speed training. No, well, at least someone's here to help us out. I think it's like every bond that's present gives you about 5% increase. Could grab Silent Suzuka's as well here. But let's see here. Yeah, so velocity. We were really looking for acceleration before velocity, because the most troubling thing, usually in my opinion, is getting up to your speed level for the last spurt, which is why we took what we did there. Although Silent Suzuka's would probably help out as well. Again, this is all because I have taken the Daiwa Scarlet aptitude that increases our Pace Chaser style. If we did not, this would be a very different run. But yeah, we need more. We might even need more power. But that would involve speed training. So I'll rely on speed training to increase our power. Period. That's the end of the sentence. So we'll definitely watch this one. I want to see if, considering we have about 200 guts-ish, if nothing else, I want to watch the power. I shouldn't need to worry about stamina, though. Unless we don't proc any stamina perks, then we might have to worry near the 75% mark. Again, these are approximate. It's not like I'm calculating anything off of my mind. We do get Swinging Maestro. I think that procs off of a random corner turn. But it will proc once it has decided to proc. So that's the good thing. The question, well, yeah, we probably need it. It recovers 5% of your stamina? It's a little bit higher, but I can't remember. But basically, if even on the first corner, you should get your worth. But if not, hey. But anywho. Again, unless it's a 3,000, 3,200 meter race, I probably don't need as much stamina as I do. The problem, though, is that if I go lower, I risk losing to my earlier goals, which is not good for just raising an Musume in general. Now, if you're reliably hitting URA Finals, you shouldn't need to worry because you should have enough stats regardless, but hey. And here is where I'm kind of, I think I may be lacking in power. Again, if I haven't said it already, if you're stuck behind another girl, if your Musume is stuck behind another girl, you are locked to whatever speed they are at until you pass. So, Shrug! So let's see if we pass here. Simply Rudolph skill procking. That's going to be really helpful. If someone else hits their max speed, though, we could get passed up here. Let's find out. Okay, good. Unless someone up comes from third, which has happened before. I don't know if that video is still on this channel. It's very funny, though, because I think it was a generic during a Legend Cup race that just passed everyone, but... and it comes out of the side, too. I've seen that happen to a few trainers, where just off the corner, you're looking at 2 to 3 Musume hitting the last 100 meters as the camera pans, and suddenly from, like, closer to the camera, someone just zips by from the outside, more specifically. But let me just think here, because I actually need to concentrate. Oh my goodness, no speed. What we can do is take this Wits training and then speed twice for the last 2 turns before our goal. This is another long race, or is it medium? I can't remember. I definitely have enough stamina, though. And that's just logic happening, because if the previous race was 2,500 meters, or even just if you go all the way back to Tenno Sho, I think Tenno Sho, basically, if I have enough stamina for 3,000 meter races, I have enough for anything below that, is what I'm trying to say. We did not get anything. That makes me really sad. The wits are nice, but I'm just going to speed here. I don't feel confident enough. Okay, finally we got rainbow training here with more bonds. I forgot if the passives of, even if you have an off passive here, so even if I say Daiwa Scarlet, if their passive increases the stats gain, actually, we might as well check now, kind of important. Give me 15 seconds. So support effect, okay, you don't. So, then maybe Agnes Tachyon? Initial wit, free friendship, race fan, bonus specialty. Okay, no, none of them do. But either way, their presence is much appreciated. Much appreciated. Velocity. I mean, if there's nothing else, which there really shouldn't be, I would rather take it, because we should be... With Pace, oh my goodness, Chaser. Uma Stand might help out as well. If nothing else, it's Gold Chip's own, but we'll take Silent Suzuka's unique. Just in case we happen to pull out in front. Now, again, this could go really, really badly for me, but hopefully with an extra 5% speed effectively, things work out well, where, as you can see, our stats are slowly not mattering as much. I don't think we've clocked yet. I can't remember, because obviously this is the later half of a run. I started recording, so yeah, let's find out. Oh, goodness. And I think the thumbnail I'll use for this video, or I was going to use for the tips video, is going to be used for this one, depending on what happens here. But as we get stuck in 5th, 4th, again, that should be normal. We're not front runners. This Daiwa Scarlet is likely a front runner, and so is whoever is behind them, which is a generic. But again, this should be normal. Now, are we going to be stuck? Are we going to be stuck behind McQueen here, or are we going to get passed by Tosin Jordan at the last spurt? That's something to find out. That being said, so on a random note, red skills. Some people are not afraid of red skills. I am definitely afraid of red skills, and some people are as well. It really just depends. If you are, I mean, the actual look at it is that if you prepared by putting a lot in a stat, more than you need, then you don't need to worry as much about red skills, but obviously having them not proc at all would proc at all on your Musume. So if you don't know, for anyone who doesn't know, really quickly, red skills essentially debuff whoever they're targeting. So normally it's the styles, it's the girls using a certain style, all girls, but again, another way to mitigate that if you are hit by it is to, again, preemptively assume that you're going to get hit and then build your stats that way. But again, you're really not, design-wise, you're not supposed to get hit by it at all. Or the intended effect is to know you're going to get hit. But again, people can think of meta, counter-meta, essentially. At least I think so. And if that's not the case, again, because I haven't really been into the heavy PvP scene, I would be a little bit surprised, but hey. Most of the time people are planning against PvE things like Legend Cup races, as we actually proc silence Suzuka's unique. Are we gonna proc Rudolph's as well? We did pass people, but hey, it's fine. As long as we win the race, which it seems like we're doing, then hey. Hi! But yeah, as you can see here, again, this is a really non-standard gold chip. But because her Pace Chaser style is at B or even C sometimes, if you manage to double proc and aptitude, then it's viable to do so. We did achieve all goals. Now, are we gonna pass URA Finals? We're gonna find out. Goodness. And now, yeah, we need to... this is wits, yeah. We can probably build wits into a final speed training. The bad part about this is I might not have the speed to win, but hey. And yeah, the only thing I'd take is probably wet conditions if I need the extra power. We probably are missing power, but we gotta do the best with what we've got. Just out of curiosity, yeah, so... Shrug! And we're Pace Chaser style as well, so that is gonna hurt us strength-wise, but as long as we are using Pace Chaser style, then we shouldn't need to worry as much. Basically, it's up to RNG at this point. These are not the stats you ideally want to be at to reliably pass URA, in my opinion. If nothing else, you're probably going to have to clock. I'm shrugging in real life. But, anywho. Yeah, so we'll stick with this for the rest. We'll watch the race for the rest. We might skip one or two if we clock, but other than that, I'm just looking for any abnormalities, and if nothing else, I have this as a recording now for myself, so shrug, but if you're watching and or listening to this along with me, hey, it can help out. Also, are there a lot of people using Pace Chaser? Might be, let's find out, unless I'm just stuck behind another girl, but that's up to Goldship to do. Preferably, I'd like, as we get rushed here, I'd like Goldship to use her unique here. Otherwise, the fact that it leveled up during this scenario is not going to do anything for me. So specifically, what Rush does to you, aside from just drain more of your stamina and stuff, it also can force you to do another style that ends up obviously being worse, because you might not have built your girl to be a certain style, and normally you're not. So when your girl gets rushed, then yeah, they're basically using a style that they might not be using. There are other effects and stuff as well, but that's one of many factors that goes into what happens when you get rushed. Also, yeah, again, we probably don't need all the stamina skills, but I've made my decision at this point. Although I might, if I happen to squeeze past this, I think what I'm gonna do is increase power some more by way of speed training. That's probably going to be what I want to do, because it seems like we're having trouble pushing past, but maybe during this last spurt, that's my last hope. Goldship is passing. Is she going to hit her speed? There's the Rudolph unique. But we need to win. That's URA Finals, and we're not gonna proc Suzuka's, because we're not gonna get. By the time we get first, it won't matter. So hey. So again, specifically Rudolph's, I think Rudolph's is a unique one, and if it's not, I'd be a little surprised. I know a lot of people, at least early game, like to inherit Rudolph's for the reasons I said earlier. I'll say it again here, but simply Rudolph's unique skill increases the acceleration, which is very important when you're in the last spurt, when everyone is accelerating. So the faster you can accelerate, the faster you'll be, and you'll pull ahead, which can help proc with other things as well. So again, moderately increases velocity. But I swear it said acceleration otherwise, but still the speed helps as well. And then a slightly increased acceleration when in the back mid, which helps us out there because, hey, we were in the back mid. 13%, please! Okay, usually if you see that, it should work out. But after this, man, I don't know what else I'm going to pick. So, for the purposes of this, I might even just pick a thing. Yeah, that's cloudy, it's not raining, so oof. I would have liked to basically pick wet conditions, but it's not raining, so let's see. In positioning ability in medium races, which we are in, I think, right? Velocity on a corner, which helps us pass earlier. Velocity on a straight, but that's mile. Medium tether. Vision toward the back, late race. That's if I get really unlucky, but that's usually not the case. I can't rely on that procking. So I guess we're going to take up tempo question mark. We're going to check the race one more time. I just want to be certain to get champion. It is a medium race though. If not by the number, then by literally saying medium. So, yeah, we're going to take up tempo. Is there anything else? I would like to take subdued front runners as well. That'll help us pass. Actually, you know what? Because we have a handful of wits, we'll take the red skill. I wouldn't normally do that, but let's do an experiment here. It might cost me URA championship, but let's find out. Again, around 500 wit is okay. You want more than that though. But obviously, if your speed, stamina, and or strength are lacking, you want those, and then as much guts as you can leisurely get. It's for the purposes of URA, the URA scenario. Guts is a luxury stat most of the time. But again, we'll see if I regret my decision. Again, I'm just watching to see where Gold Chip is near the halfway mark of the race. Preferably, I'd want her to be around at minimum 6th to 7th place. But if she can pull ahead earlier, which is not the case if you have a front runner like Hayata Top Gun, yeah. Like, again, this is not so bad if you are a pace chaser because, well, you want to be near the front anyway. But if people start passing you, if you get hit by a red skill, if something really, really strange happens and you get blocked by a super creek, then, I mean, you just take it. That's... Some of the times I see that happen to trainers, even in global server right now, because I do watch other people just to try and get, because I'm not always training myself, so it's fun to watch other people train. But again, I think one of the few asterisk marks, again, takeaways is that, yes, I uncapped the Special Week SSR, and then uncapped the Super Creek, or someone uncapped their Super Creek SSR, so that's nice. It's really nice, actually, I think. We can check right here while nothing's happening. So yeah, I think it's specialty bonus, specialty priority on top of extra % here and there, which does help because the effectiveness means that you have an extra 10 to 20 from my calculations, which helps out. As we pull ahead, I wonder who's we're going to proc. I'm going to say Suzuka's if I had to place a bet. We could proc Rudolph's, but I don't know if it counted as the last one. Yeah, it's definitely Suzuka's. And we should stay in front unless everyone decides to pop their stuff. There's Vodka. Vodka likes to pass as well. But if we stay this way, I hear the commentator yelling "nice nature," and I'm just look back at the screen. Oh goodness. Well, hey. And now it's for the championship. So, without further ado, if nothing else, randomly, yeah. So again, when you do URA, you get these goodies after every URA race, which is really, really nice. Oh my goodness. This is the last one. Go for it. Okay, good. We weren't gonna do anything else. I think everything else was like 76% failure rate. Could take something here. You know what? Why do I not check the races first before I look at my skills? Firm, Sunny. So nothing really. Can we even grab anything? Yes, we can actually. So medium corners, and then we can upgrade it again if need be. Literally that's the last thing we would take. Unless we're not in medium races, but we should be. So yeah, without anything, because I think the only other takeaway, I might be wrong about this because I forgot to check. I've read it a few times though, but basically that if your URA final race type, basically whether they're sprints, miles, mediums, or longs, are based on the total number of, I think, participated races. So if you participated in, say, 6 to 7 longs and only did 5 to 4 mediums, regardless of which includes your goal races, then your URA finals will be long races. Essentially, if nothing else, that's the general rule. So if you want to force a certain URA finals type, race more on your own time, because otherwise if you just leave it all to your goal races, then whatever the most types of races that you go in on those goal races is going to be what you get for URA finals. If that's any other takeaway to take from this video. But yeah, uncaps, race types, and URA finals, and I think there's something else. On top of the topic of guts not being completely useless, obviously it has an effect, but it's not the end-all, be-all, that is, don't have enough speed, or you don't have enough stamina in a long race. Or power if you need to pass up a lot of girls. But again, those stats are more easily understood. That I will say for sure, with 98% certainty. As opposed to Guts, which is kind of like in the middle, has an effects on skills and their efficiency, has an effects during the last spurt or final spurt of the race specifically. Helps out your stamina during that as well. Helps out your stamina use apparently as well. And that's about all I can remember. But those are really key points of Guts. But again, compared to the necessaries things, and then wits as well being important for skill use, as we're stuck in 7th for the moment. Are we stuck behind someone? We're stuck. But, yeah. I mean, this is the URA Finals, so I expect to clock here. We're not at our stat, where I'd like to be stat-wise, but I just gotta work with what I've got. Without proccing a skill here, we're not gonna take first, most likely. Looks close, though. Looks really close, but no. Oh, it's just a dream. In case you didn't know, so when you're using clocks, essentially, it's a bad dream, says trainer. But anywho. So yeah, as you can notice here, yeah, you can't use a Legacy Musume as the same as your training, but they can be second in generation here. That's why you see Gold Chip and Gold Chip. Although this one, again, this is the default Daiwa Scarlet, and then the one over here is, well, the Simply Rudolph. That is my URA. I think this is my first one. I think that was the same in my Japanese account as well, which my first URA champion was Simply Rudolph, but shrug. And again, I did use my 3-star selector on Simply Rudolph because I knew immediately I was going to use it for Gold Chip. Nice rush, by the way. Yeah, we'll watch this one, and then if I have to clock again, I'll skip. If we have another clock. I don't even know if I have another clock. Otherwise, this is where I want to be at, but a little more oomph here and there would have helped out this run. There was some bad early game luck because I don't think I won the junior make debut. We can check at the end of this run, but that will cut into the time you're training. That will help as well. But yeah, more skills proccing would definitely help. But our wits is not that high anyway to proc all of these skills, so hey, happy me. But preferably in the last spurt, I definitely need to pop one of these 2 unique skills, either Simply Rudolph's or Silent Suzuka's. But it seems like we're so stuck here because my power. Yeah, we need more power. But let's find out, because this is where we're supposed to pull ahead. A little bit far behind, but we can pull ahead here. Could is the operative word. No, you need to pop a unique skill now? Okay, good. Maybe. No, we're stuck. We're stuck behind. Air Groove? Is that Air Groove right there? Oh, goodness. Happy Meek was pulling forward, though, but hey. So yeah, 2 more clocks. We'll just skip to the last spurt, and, well, that'll be the end of the video. Not really much else to say. But yeah, this is not where you want to be at. Preferably, at least... So, speed is okay. Would like to be a bit higher, but definitely 500 power. 550 probably. Our stamina is a bit high, but again, that's because we did a lot of long... In fact, probably actually wanted to consider making our URA Finals long races instead, but... Again, sometimes you do want to build media or other race types. Now, this looks a bit more promising, but again, if we proc a unique skill, we should be good. I'd be willing to put money on that. I'm not betting robots don't hurt me, but if we don't proc anything, it's gonna be still close. Although it seems like we're passing? Yeah, we're passing. Hey! Come here and kick me! Kick me! But anywho. So yeah, this is my first Gold Chip URA champion on global server. So hey! And then give me all the goodies as well. These are also nice to grab. So, yeah, again, I don't expect literally anyone else to run this same Gold Chip at the exact time here. Later on you can, especially when you're looking for other gold, trying to train more Gold Chips for other Uma Musume, because again, you're going to be going through a grinding phase where you're trying to... Essentially, yes, you are, to use the term, you are farming things. Also, did I want to take that? There's something else I wanted to take. Medium corners. I don't want to stay on medium, though. I guess we'll take... Yeah, we'll take a general one instead in case I want to put this Gold Chip on a long race. Although I will be training more Gold Chips anyway, but you never know, right? Oh, actually, I should have checked my races. I think you can still check, right? But, anywho. Yeah, so, let's find out. Medium aptitude with stamina. Well, everything else is bleh. So, let's see. So, no. Let's go down. Yeah, so we failed our first junior make debut. That actually cuts off like 2 to 3 turns, surprisingly. And that's an extra... You know, this could have put my speed to 700, although I think you need 800 or 900 more for A. When you're looking for inspirations, I think you're looking for letter grade and not value, although values are specific while you're racing. Otherwise, yeah, extra power would have helped too. That could have been 500 power. But anywho, and yeah, as you can see, I was doing a lot of gold ship failures. So, yeah, not really much else to say. If there's anything else, let me know, because I probably said something and didn't show it. So, but yeah, without further ado, this should be near the end of the video. We'll just pop back out, and yeah, we will move on with our life. So, without further ado, I will see you whenever I see you. Again, if you want to say anything, if you want to support me, feel free to do so. One last time, I might mention it later in the future, but... yeah, if you see any ads on my videos, it's not me, because I'm not monetizing any of my Musume content, at least at this moment, because I'm just playing it safe. So, yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!